Welcome to the Artistry in Woods home workshop. Kind of a unique workshop. All the tools in here, or most of them, are older than me, being from anywhere from 1915 to the mid-50s. Anyway, this is my 1940s beaver scroll saw. It's a pretty big machine, actually. It's almost 24 inches between the blade and the back of the arm. So you can do some pretty serious scroll work on that. Very early, old, unknown source grinder. This is my utility grinder for, it's got a wire wheel on it, used for lawnmower blades, so on, old belt drive unit. Metal working bench for sharpening, joining bandsaw blades, that kind of stuff. Next up is my 1940s beaver drill press. A big 1 horsepower motor on it. It's reversible, so I can use it for sanding. Kind of a unique piece. Not very many of those around. Old beaver radial arm saw, which is actually made by Delta Rockwell. They just put the beaver's names on it. Not a very good saw, actually. I'm not very limited use. The crown jewel of my workshop, probably my favorite machine, 1915 crescent bandsaw. Yes, it's totally functional. Use it every day, actually. '40s beaver jointer. A lot of people ask what's the difference between a jointer and a planer. Well, a jointer flattens a board. You take a crooked, twisted board and you can make it flat. A planer, on the other hand, makes it thinner. That's it. If you put a crooked piece into a planer rather, you'll get a crooked, twisted piece out, just thinner. I'm not sure how old the shaper is. I'm guessing mid-40s again, maybe early 50s. It's got a big cutter in it I use this for pattern routing, like if you make a template, say for a chair leg, you can use that to make copies. Another rather rare machine. This is a 1940s Craftmaster lathe made by Henry Power Tools in London, Ontario. It's got a 16-speed drive, 1 horsepower motor, reversible. It's pretty useful machine around my shop. Lathe accessories. I'm a strong supporter of One Way in Stratford, Ontario. All my lathe accessories are from there. Lathe tools, lots of them. You'd be surprised how many you really use. Another grinder. This one's used only for lathe tools. It's a 1950s Craftsman, made by General Electric of Canada. Back when Craftsman actually sold and had real tools on the shelf. 1930s, I believe, planer. Made by Parks. Sears actually sold these as well. Some of them had the Craftsman name on them. It's powered by a monstrous 4 horsepower Repulse induction motor. Part of the wood pile. Here's some of that barn wood I picked up. These are actually floor joists out of a barn. I've got a selection. Some are maple, some are chestnut, and some are white oak. This is a pretty rare machine. 1940s beaver sander. Has a belt and a 12-inch disc. I use it every day. Very, very useful machine. Next is this 1960s, I believe, 4-inch jointer. This actually belonged to Mary Ann's dad. I restored it and got it back running again. I use it for small work. It's a nice little machine. Back in here, kind of inaccessible at the moment, is a 1930s Delta Rockwell disc sander. It's reversible as well. It runs both directions. 1935 beaver bandsaw. Before World War II, Beaver briefly tried making some power tools. This is actually a Walker Turner design. We're not sure whether it was made in Canada under license or whether Beaver just imported them. More wood. My rather messy glue-up bench. Use it primarily for gluing up stuff that uses epoxies, like pens and stuff I don't want on the main woodworking bench. Router table with a Lady dovetail jig. Use that regularly. And the Lee Valley router table. Bought this used off Kijiji. There's a 2 horsepower router inside the cabinet. And then my mechanics toolbox. And my woodworking bench. $1935 or so, not sure exactly. Tilt table saw. Again, totally functional. All these machines have been rebuilt, most of them being repainted. They all get used every day and work just great.